Hello everyone, welcome to the Python programming series. Today in this episode we will study about loops, while, for and nested loops plus random function. In previous episode we studied about conditionals, if else, nested else if. Now in this episode we will study about loops, which is very important in Python. Now I will use the Jupyter notebook as usual. Now you may be wondering, why do loops exist? Before writing any code, understand the problem loop solve. Say you want to print hello 5 times. You're gonna do print hello, print hello, print hello, print hello 5 times. This is valid and works, but what if I wanted to print 1,000 times? You cannot write 1,000 lines because it would be very exhausting and time consuming. This is the exact problem loop solve. Repeat something without writing it multiple times. So it basically repeat something. That's all loop is about. Now we will deep dive into the loops, and we are going to start while loops. Our while loops keep running as long as a condition is true. The moment the condition becomes false, it stops. And it is the simplest while loop code I have shown you. Count is equal to 1. While count is less than equal to 5, print count, count plus is equal to 1. First it print count, then add 1. Sorry, count start at 1. Loop runs, count become 2. Then loops run again. Then count, and this continues until count becomes 6. Now the condition is when it becomes 6, the condition is false, the loop stop. Done prints. This is the complete logic. So it print count basically up to 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it prints done at the end. This is a basic example of count loop. Instead of printing print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4, print 5, you can use while loop or for loop. This is a basic simplest while loop code. I will tell you again detailedly. Initially count is 1. While count 1 is less than equal to 5, this condition is true. It comes inside this while loop. It will print count, which becomes 1, and after it increments, count is equal to count plus 1, which is count is 1 plus 1 2, and it becomes it checks. If it is 2, it checks the condition again. While 2 is less than equal to 5, it is true. Print count, it will print 2. Like this, it will do for 3, it will do for 5, it will do for 5. When it reaches 6, the loop will stop and it will only print till 5, and print is done. Because it is not inside any loop, it will always print without any condition. If you did tap this, then it will, let's see what's the output. It will print done 5 times. But this is so this is an example. You can see how important indentation and spacing matter in Python. Just a space, you can change the whole code. If you do outside this while loop, it will print done at the end only. So this is very important, keep in mind. What happens without count plus is equal to 1? If you forgot to update the variable, count will stay 1 forever. The condition never become false. This is called an infinite loop. It runs forever and crashes your program. Always make sure something changes inside the loop that will eventually make the condition false. So it will print count 1 infinity times. Let me show you by running it. Look, as you can see, in infinity times it will run. It will crash the program. So I want to stop it. Yeah, so I stopped it. So because I don't want my computer to crash. So if you forgot to do count plus is equal to 1, it will do infinity time count. Now we will do while loop with user input. This is a real use of while loop. Keep asking for password until the user get it right. We do not know how many items they need. Could be 1, could be 10. While loop is perfect when you don't know in advance when you don't know in advance how many times to repeat. In this password is empty. While password is not equal to open 123, password is input, enter password. It will run until the password is not open 123. I will show you by running. Wait a minute, guys. There is some problem. The code is not working properly. So, okay. Now it is running perfectly. Now I will put some password. As you can see, I'm putting random values. It will never do access granted until I put open 123. Now see, access granted. This is a perfect example of granting password access. You take password as empty while password is not equal to, the loop will run until the password is not equal to 123. It will ask input again and again until the user enter the correct password. Uh, so when you enter open 123, it will only then give the access granted. If the password is not equal to 123, it will ask the input again and again. This is a perfect example while loop with user input. Now we go to next code while with break. While it is an important topic, while true creates a loop that would run forever. It is an infinite loop. Break immediately exit the loop when it runs. This pattern is very common. Keep running until the user decides to stop. The user is in control of when it ends. I will show you by running it. See, when I entered queue, the program ended. This is a perfect example of break. So in this, while true, it runs forever. In this inside loop, name, we take a input for the name. If name is equal to q, if the input value is equal to q, the program will end, else the program will run and it will print program ended at the end. Let me show you by running it again. For example, I put Dia, Raj, Akshay, Rohit. See, it is running and never stopping. As soon as I put Q, the program ends. This is a perfect example of break. Break basically, while in running loop, the break actually stops the loop when it meets the condition. It is the definition of the break. So as you can see, it's a perfect example. Please practice this. I will provide the code in the description. Now we move to the next part, for loop. For loop is used when you know how many times you want to repeat. Uh, in it is in while loop we repeated until the condition is met, but in for loop you know how many times you want to repeat, or when you want to go through each item, or when you want to go to through the each item in a collection one by one. For example, in this for loop, for I in range 5, it will print until 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, until 4 only, excluding 5. So I will print it. Remember, it will follow the index value, not human readable form. For I in range 5, print I. It will count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 4 only. This is a example of for loop with range. Now for loop with start and stop. For I in range 1 to 6, it will run from 1 to 5. Start, stop, so it will run from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only, excluding 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. So this is an example of for loop with start and stop. Now for loop with step. So it will run from 0 to 10 from with 2 gap. Like it will run 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. It will run until 10. This is basically printing even numbers. You can see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Step is like how many times you want to move. Like the skip, how many times you want to skip. From 0 to 10, skip 2 steps, 0, 1 and print 2. Then 3, you will skip 3. Then 4, you will skip 5. Then 6, you will skip 7. Then 8, you will skip 9. Then 10. It's an example of for loop with step. Now we come over to the next for loop over a string. So this is basically we want to go through each item in a collection one by one. So basically we will go from each item one by one. For letter in name, the letter will be like, I will type it out. Letter uh, wait. It will print 1, letter 2, letter 2, letter 3, 3, letter 4, letter 5, letter 6. So in this, for letter in name, the letter will go through each item in the string. Letter in this string, as you can see, the length is 6. So it will go like letter 1, P, letter 2, Y, letter 3, T, letter 4, H, letter 5, O, letter 6, N. I will print it. Basically, it goes through each string, each index of string. It until it will print until all the strings are completed until the end. So it is a perfect example of for loop over a string. Now, now for loop practical sum of number. Now this program calculates the sum of number with using for loop. Initially total is 0. For I in range 1 to 10, total is increment by 1. Total is 0 initially, so it print 1 and it will add up to 10. 1 plus 1. It is a classic sum. Loop goes from 1 to 10. Each time the current number gets added to total. After the loop, total is 55. So after we totaling it, it will come 55. So I will show you. Sum is 55. So what if you do this? What if you print is inside the for loop? As you can see, it will add by each time. 1 and 3 and like this it will add up till the end, and by doing this it will show the final output, sum 55. It is a perfect example. If you want to calculate sum of number using for loop, you take total is 0, then increment by 1, increment by the number between this, so it will total it. Now while versus for, when to use which. Simple rule: Do you know the exact number of repetition before the loop start? Use for loop. If you don't know, like waiting for user input or reading until a file end, use while. This one rule will help you choose correctly every time. Use for when you know how many times. Use while when you don't know how many times. If you know the number how many times you want to print, use for loop. If you don't know how many times, use while loop. While loop deals with uncertainty. Now break. We will deep dive into break. In this code, you can see for I in range 1 to 10, if I is equal to 6, break, then print I. So the program will print until 6. Then it will show loop ended. I mean, sorry, it will print until 5. The program end as soon as the I reaches I is equal to 6, and it will print only till 5. Break exit the loop immediately when it runs. Loop was going from 1 to 10, but when I becomes 6, break runs and the loop stops completely. Output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then loops ended print. Use break when you found what you were looking for and you don't need to continue. Now continue is different. In continue, the loop runs, but it will skip some part of it and it will continue the loop again. Like for example, if I wanted number from 1 to 10 and I didn't want number 5, I will put I is equal to 5 and continue. It will skip 5 and print rest of the number. This is an example of continue. For I in range 1 to 10, if I is even, this means even. If I modulo 2 is equal to 0, it means if I is even, continue, print I. It means continue, skip the rest of the current round and jumps to next one. When I is even, continue run, print script. When I is odd, continue. And this program basically prints odd numbers. If it is even, it will skip it. So I will show you by running it. As you can see, 1 is I and I is not even. So it will print I, and 2 is divisible is even, so it will skip it because of this continue keyword, sorry, continue thing, and it will not print I. 3 is not even, so it will print and 4 is even, so it will skip it, and 5 is not even, so it will print. 6 is even, so it will skip again, and 7 is not even, so it will print, and 8 is even, so it will skip. So 9 is not even, so it will print. This is a perfect example of continue. Now break and continue difference clearly. Look at the example carefully and understand. For I in range 5, it means 0 to 4. If I is 3, break, print I. It will print from, it will, the loop will run from 0 to 4. If I becomes 3, the loop will stop and only print 0, 1, 2. So this same method in continue, if we see for I in range 5, if I is 3, continue, and it will print I is 3, skip, it will skip the value, it will skip only I is equal to 3 and print I. So it will print like 0, 1, 2, and when it becomes 3, it will skip this and it will continue the loop again and it will print 4. So final output is 0, 1, 2, 4. And as you can see the difference clearly, the break stops the loop completely, but continue does not stop the loop completely. It only skips the condition and continues the loop. Now we will move on to part number 5, nested loops. A nested loop is a loop inside another loop. The inner loop completes fully for every single round of outer loop. Think of like a clock. For every 1 hour of the outer loop, the minute hand inner loop goes 60 times. This is a perfect example. Like in clock, for every 1 hour there is 60 minute, right? Think of 1 hour of the outer loop and 60 minute as the inner loop. So this is how you can understand nested loop. And let's see in this basic nested loop. For I in range 1 to 4 means 1 to 3. For j in range 1 to 3, print I and j. I is 1. Now j runs fully. If when I is 1, the j will run from 1 to 3. Then I becomes 2. Now j runs again 1 to 3. Then I becomes 3. Now j will run again 1 to 3. Total print is 9 times. Output ran 3 times. Inner loop ran 3 times each. So 3 into 3 is 9 times. So I will show you by printing it. As you can see, when I is 1, the j is, when I is 1, j will print 1 2 3. And when I is 2, j will print 1 2 3 again. When I is 3, j will print 1 2 3 again. This is an example of nested loops. So total it run 9 times. This is how you can calculate it. Now multiplication table using nested loops. So for I in range 1 to 5, for j in range 1 to 5, print I into j and t. This basically gives multiplication table. This prints a 5 by 5 multiplication table and is equal to tab, keeps everything on the same line with a tab space. The print with nothing inside just moves to the next line after each row. Nested loops are perfect for anything that is row column structure like tables, grids and matrices. I will show you by running it. As you can see, it prints a 5 into 5 table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it will run like look. Uh, at for I in range, it will, when I is 1, it will multiply it I 1 2 3 4 5, then 2, it will multiply like this, it will run until 5. This is uh this is the outer loop, this is the inner loop. Please understand the example carefully and practice by yourself. Now pattern using nested loop, it is very important. In this, when I is 1, inner loops run one time, 1 star. When I is 2, inner loop runs 2 times, 2 stars. Each row print as many stars as the row number. This is a very common interview question. Print this pattern. Now you understand how it works. Now I will print it. As you can see, I have printed a pattern using nested loops, so you can understand it. Now we are done with loops. We have clearly seen the difference between for loop, while loop, break, continue. We are done with it. Now we will study about random module. Python has a random module that generates random numbers. You have to import it first before using it. Imports means bring it in a tool that is not loaded by default. You use import random to import a random function. So import random loads the module. Random.randint gives a random whole number between 1 to 9, between 1 to 10. So random dot rand int bracket 1 comma 10 can give you 1 2 3 all the way to 10. Run this multiple times and you get the different number each time. So I will run it. As you can see, I got random number between 1 to 10. For this I got 5, for this 8. It basically gives random number. That's all. No, nothing to complicate. It just gives random number by itself. Now random dot choice. So this is random. Just gives random number. You can just understand by its word. So in this we random dot choice, we can get random item. So in this we imported random. We created a list fruits apple, banana, mango, grape. And when you do print random dot choice fruits, it will pick one random item from this list. And when you do random dot shuffle fruit, it will list in it will do list in random order. So I will show you by running it. As you can see, it chooses a random thing and it printed the list in random order. In this means it will print the list in random, give item in random order. Now we move on to some big example, putting all together, like all the thing we learned today. I have given you some example. This one program uses everything from today we have learned. Random to generate the secret number, while loop because we do not know how many guesses the user need, int uh, to convert input, comparison operator to check the guess, break to exit when correct, attempts counter with plus is equal to. This is a complete small game. I will show you by running it. It will basically guess the number. If the guess is if the guess is less than secret, it will print bigger than secret. It will print too high. Else, it will print this. This is a nice game you can practice by yourself. So that is all for today. We have completed the loops, for loops, while loops, nested loops, and difference between break and continue. And we also studied about the random module. So we will meet in the next episode. So keep practicing, and I will share the code in the description box. Thank you so much.